Continuing with securing the world, I will call now the next speaker, which is Sajan Pillai, the CEO of UST Global company. Welcome, Sajan.
Good afternoon. I would love to have this opportunity today to talk a little bit about UST Global and our presence in Israel, our view of cybersecurity, and what we think Israeli startups and Israeli companies can do, not only in cyber startups, but in cyber scale-ups. So that's a little bit about the topic I want to discuss today. So first of all, a little bit of perspective about UST Global. We were a startup company a decade and a half ago. In Southern California, we started in a garage. We were literally in a garage for a couple of years. Our view, our dream, was before the end of 2 decades. Can we be a company that can touch 3 billion lives on this planet digitally? The way they buy things, the way they heal themselves, the way they educate themselves and their children, really becoming the friend of the common man. And we wanted to do this by partnering with some of the largest companies in the world. So we said we will have fewer clients, we will give them more attention. Unlike traditional systems integrators, a little different strategy. We focused on 4 key verticals: retail, healthcare, financial, and technology verticals. Today, a decade and a half later, we have 140 of Global 500s as our clients. We have organically grown 98% of the company to over 18,000 employees in 24 countries. That's a little bit about the story of UST. This gives you a little bit of landscape of where UST is located. You can clearly see Tel Aviv. In Israel, we came roughly 2.5 years ago in search of the best minds in cyber defense. And I'll tell you the story, our success in leveraging Israeli teams globally for the behalf of our customers. We are in North America, Latin America, Australia, different countries in Europe, and in Asia, and in India. So what do we do as a company? We today have 4 key verticals. The first one is enterprise technology services. So we really do 3 things underneath. All large companies have these 3 problems: how to build and run large software applications, how to build and run large data systems, and how to build and run large infrastructure. These are 3 things we do in the enterprise technology services. So if you look at a little bit about our footprint in retail, 8 out of the top 10 retailers in the world, UST is one of the top 3 partners globally today. In the US, in healthcare, in claims processing, we process 1/3 of US population, 82 million members, claims today through our systems. Just to give you some examples. The second vertical is the digital transformation services, which is what I'm going to talk about a little bit. So I'll pause here. The third one is the variety of products and platforms today that we have. Variety of platforms. We consider ourselves as a platform-led services firm for Global 1000s. And the fourth offering, we call it the innovation pods, where we can bring in academia, innovation techniques, and engineering talent to take on your problems and assemble and synthesize solutions in 6 to 8 weeks. Working with Stanford, working with MIT, working with Cambridge and many other universities. The problems can be a large set of problems. 70 of Fortune 500 companies use UST's innovation pod services today. So going to a little bit about what UST Global's digital transformation services offerings are. This is critical. We believe digital transformation truly is about designing for consumers' happiness. So it isn't about technology, it is about the impact you can make for the stated and unstated needs of the consumer. So UST has as a service that is anthropologically driven, science-based, that can extract customer sentiments at scale and combine that with data. So we say combination of understanding and knowledge yields digital insights. So you got to do both. The second digital service, clearly a lot of you are involved with artificial intelligence. How can we bring industrial scale artificial intelligence to do three things? To have adaptive intelligence to serve your consumers, to rapidly compress operational processes, and improve productivity of your employees. So we are doing R&D and platform development in all three areas. Clearly, the third area is how do you run this in the next generation infrastructure, primarily smart compute, with cloud, enterprise agility, and continuous development platforms with DevOps techniques. So that's the third infrastructure. I mentioned about the innovation pods as the fourth service. And really, the fifth one is the digital experience services that combines a variety of ingredients that combines our smart platform, our artificial intelligence platforms, and blockchain platforms. But all these five vectors of digital transformation rely on one thing. All these digital assets, the more transformed your company is on a digital front, the more risk you have in terms of protecting your digital assets. So no digital transformation can be complete without the digital defense or digital cybersecurity. Today, all of you know, as the companies are becoming more and more hyper-digital, the risk is increasing, and a lot of the exposure that companies have are exponentially increasing because of the plethora of endpoints, the plethora of techniques, and the plethora of technologies. So you have to have a huge amount. Whatever cybersecurity infrastructure that you have today, tomorrow is not relevant because something else has happened. So this is the challenge. To counter this challenge, UST incubated a company called CYBERWEEK a couple of years ago out of Israel. The intention and the view and the dream of CYBERWEEK is this simple. If you look at the innovations in cybersecurity, the products, the services, and the solutions, they were all supply chain driven. Most of them came from engineering background, and they tried to fit into problems that customers have, and companies have had remarkably well. What we are trying to do is shifting from supply chain driven to value chain driven. Going after largest customers, looking at their context problems, bring those problems to our CyberWeek labs, and design products, platforms, and technologies, assemble some cases, build in other cases to solve those problems. This is a dramatically different approach. Because when you go to world's largest companies, banks, healthcare companies, retail companies, tech companies, they are not happy, or it is not sufficient to take the commodity products and services we have in cybersecurity today. All the way from cybersecurity to operational security is highly insufficient. So this is a massive opportunity, and we believe the cyberproof ecosystem that we have, where we have now invested and partnered with a number of Israeli companies in cyber defense. With UST, we have 138 of the global 500 companies as customers. We have access to markets globally, both governments and companies. So we find this opportunity extremely, extremely exciting. So really, the cybersecurity, what does it do? Today, the problem isn't about getting alerts. The problem is having too many alerts. So if you look at a traditional company, you have all sorts of events happening from all sorts of places. That is creating all sorts of alerts. So it's sort of like water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. The problem isn't the alerts. The problem is actionable insights. So we have invested in understanding correlation and correlation algorithms that we are constantly tweaking. So these alerts can be simplified to precise intelligence that these companies, very large companies, can act on. We did this not by one or two IP, but looking at a number of startups in Israel and universities and creating an integrated ecosystem that can bring to the customers. We also engaged in building a next generation advanced global SOC operations based out of Israel but extended globally. We also have some of the best minds from Israeli intelligence and cyber defense practices in our company. So really, the real purpose of this is resulting in dramatic reduction in mean time to respond to the various threats some of the largest companies in the world go through. So what is the Israeli advantage? Why did we come to Israel? Clearly, truly, Israel is the cyber nation of the world. But more importantly, there are some very specific advantages. The first and foremost is very few countries in the world, in spite of the PR, has true state-level cyber defense infrastructure. Israel has. So it can extend from a consumer defense to company defense to state-level defense. That expertise is right here. Second, we can truly find artificial intelligence and machine learning advantage, because none of the cyber defense techniques and platforms today can fight what we're looking for without advanced artificial intelligence. And finally, we have the investment advantage and the talent advantage in Israel. So for us, we are here as a part of UST, and our objective is to bring in not just money to Israeli startups and companies, but open up the markets. We are here to stay, and I couldn't be more happier as the CEO of UST Global to be here in Israel, leveraging Israeli cybersecurity infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sajan.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, very interesting talk, and a lot of inspiration for startup companies, what you can do in a very short time.